869 669 7312. 917 460 2187.
Every Thursday night from 8 to 10 p.m. with host Carlisle Powell on 2020 Vision Radio and Facebook.
Do you know what you're drinking? If you are drinking plastic bottled water, chances are you're consuming plastic contaminants, BPA, and other hormone-disrupting chemicals you cannot see with your naked eye. Those empty plastic bottles take up to 450 years to decompose. In the meantime, plastic bottles are polluting the environment. They are dangerous to the planet and our health. The safer solution is to acquire your own Kangen alkaline water filtration system, and you will never have to buy toxic bottled water again. Help save the planet and drink clean water for less than the price you'll pay for acid plastic bottled water over the next few years. The Kangen technology is the world's most popular, most acquired water immunizer. For more information, you can call or WhatsApp us on 917-207-1307. That's 917-207-1307. Change your water, change your life.
Pico, the way to go for residential, commercial, and industrial wiring, data, security, UPS, and generator installation. When you need electrical work done now, done right, done at an affordable price, contact Finney's Electrical Company. Call or WhatsApp 665-1916 or email pico_1166@yahoo.com. Pico, the way to go.
The views and opinions expressed on this program are strictly those of the participants and do not represent those of 2020visionradio.com or its advertisers. This 2020 Vision Radio 102.1 FM program is being simulcast weekly on the Caribbean Broadcast Network, heard on CBN Superstation 90.9 FM, Go Loud Digicel app, covering the entire U.S. and British Virgin Islands, and CBN TV on Flow Channel 101 and on CCT TV Channel 291. We do appreciate our U.S. and British Virgin Island listeners and viewers joining us for these informative and entertaining programs on 2020 Vision Radio and 102.1 FM.
Tell me what you want, please. Tell me what you need. Tell me if I'm good enough for you, good enough for you, Tell me what you want, please. Tell me what you need. Tell me if I'm good enough for you, good enough for you, Tell me what you want, please. Tell me what you need. Tell me.
Thank you very much, Beanie Man. And let me say a very special good night to these two gentlemen in the studio. And they're looking as fresh as ever. I expected them to be looking a little bit tired after this. What the minister and the premier said was the greatest Culturama ever. Tulu, I don't know if I expected you to have a marathon in church, but I expected you to look a little bit more weary. You just look fresh. How you do? He was waiting to see if I was going to say he was in the band.
I'm giving thanks. I'm grateful for God's mercies and His grace and all of His wonderful things that He has done for me and in my life. I'm grateful for the privilege of being here another Thursday evening to share information with our viewing and listening public. And I'll say good evening to my sister Sylvia, Janet, and Valerie. And say hi to Kyron, also to Lavanda, Elvan Eli and his wife, Romelo and his wife, also to Lynette Leiber over there in New York, my sister-in-law, pretty face Joyce, and then to Deborah and Cheryl. Good evening. Welcome to Tell Me.
Thank you very much, Tulu. Dr. Daly, how are you? I know instead of jamming, you went fishing.
Yeah, I got a day of fishing, and so it's been for the first time for the year. Actually, it's been a while. It's been a dry, long spell, but decided to go out. Me and my brother and another gentleman. We did well.
Bless the Lord.
But let me first apologize to all those persons who were looking forward to meeting myself and Tulu at the memorial service for our sister Evan Jeffers over there at St. Thomas's Anglican. I do apologize, and next time, hope it'll be a better or less sad occasion. But let me say good evening to two wonderful persons who I was instructed by my good friend Max up there in Westbury to say hello to, Claudia Williams and Jackie Taylor up there in the US, calls her the scallop potato lady. I don't know why, but Max over there in Westbury, I've done your bidding. But let me say good evening to my brother Hugh down there in St. Croix, my brother Carl in Atlanta, my brother Denny right here on Nevis with his wife Twilla, my brother Othniel Daly right here on Nevis, and of course my sisters Evan and Judith up in Connecticut. And my right and left foot and right foot gentlemen who make sure that everything is in order. My good friend over there in St. James, you have Turkey and Bose and Gary, all the good things. I don't know what I'll do without these gentlemen assisting me. I'm an old man now, and so whatever they can do to help, I always appreciate it. All those on the FM dial, YouTube, Twitch, or on the Facebook feed, thank you all for sharing your time with us this evening as we endeavor to educate you the way you should be. Good evening.
Thank you very much. Listen, I still insist that the technical people can do something better to improve your volume, because I need to see you picking up close to the red and the board, and that's not happening.
I don't know what's happening.
I have no idea. Pull the mic up a little bit closer.
If I pull anymore, you're going to be down my throat. And,
but you see, you're now gone in the orange.
I got in the orange.
So that is better.
Well, I'm not...
Don't say it. Don't say it. Remember, you're right in front of the pastor.
Take it easy.
Take it easy and I will do the work. You don't have to worry.
You don't have to worry.
You know the song?
Yeah, man.
Okay, all right. Very popular.
Take it easy, I'm going to do the work.
Exactly.
You don't have to.
Don't sing the rest. Let me say good evening to my big sister Claudette Mary. She and her daughter Dr. Janet Ishmael are enjoying the British Virgin Islands, and they're having a whale of a time. My brother Everett and his wife Heather and their children are taking care of them, as are my friends down there in the British Virgin Islands. Chucky and her son, Colette and her son, making sure that they have a great time down there in the Virgin Islands. My sister Glenda is next door in St. Thomas. I hope that you're doing well, Glenda, getting ready for school to reopen. And my mother's last child, Mervet, is up there in New York. Already tuned in, I would guess. Trevor is here. Trevor, and so we wish all of them and their families well. You started with the memorial service, and I met a lovely lady, well, the whole family, but I met a particular lovely lady out of St. Kitts, Gloria. And I, on behalf of the entire Tell Me crew, Gloria, I'm sending greetings to you and the rest of the family. Gloria says that she listens every week.
Wonderful.
And she was very disappointed not to meet Tulu and the man who keeps us in line, and Dr. Daly. So Gloria, good night to you. Hope that you're doing well, and the rest of the family. The occasion was not a happy one, but they were happy. A good group of people. And I also attended the function on Saturday night, where they had some wonderful food. So we're saying good night to the entire family. Yvonne was one of us. She was always tuned in and there listening to our shows.
I had planned to attend, but I was very tired from church, running up and down the place and having some extra runs.
You say extra rum?
Runs.
Rum.
And I got home, I ate lunch, and I sat in a living room chair and fell asleep. And when I woke up, it was well after the time. I said I should have been at this memorial service, but it was more than me. Sleep took over. So I apologize to all those who were expecting to meet myself and Dr. Daly and Carlisle, and unfortunately, I did not make it.
I represented.
He represented.
I was there. I represented for everybody.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Leibert was there as well. By the way, Dr. Leibert, I have something for you. I collected something for you on Saturday night, and it's in my vehicle. I have to drop it off tomorrow. Rhonda, thank you very much. I forgot to click the go live on Facebook. So Rhonda already pulled me up. So we're now live on Facebook, on Twitch, on YouTube, and over the years. So we are here with you. Let me look on the birthday list so that I don't forget that this week. And so we're starting today. Don't have any birthdays today. But tomorrow, Friday, the 8th of August, Mr. Hugh Charles, he will be celebrating his birthday. I don't know why I had Hugh Charles down for today. But it's actually on Friday that he will be celebrating. Avril Ward, we're saying good night to you as well. Dr. Winston Ailes, you know Dr. Ailes from Overbat.
I saw him in the on Juve.
Okay.
Looking quite well.
Okay. I didn't see him, but I understand that he was or is still here. On Saturday, as well, along with Dr. Ailes, we have Archdeacon Alson B.H. Percival and Miguel Mills and Dave Simon, all celebrating on Saturday. On Sunday, I have a cousin down in St. Croix, Jackie. Jackie will be celebrating on Sunday the 10th. And then across in Tortola, my very good friend Colette Courier will be celebrating her birthday on Monday. Still on Monday, Elsa. That lovely Elsa will be celebrating her birthday. On Tuesday, the 12th of August, I have Stuart Williams. Stuart Clayton Williams, who from Government Road and played for the West Indies cricket team, will be celebrating his birthday. Another cousin, Donna Blake, will be celebrating on Wednesday. And the lovely Adele. Adele will be celebrating on Wednesday as well. Those are the persons who I have in my list, gentlemen. I don't know if you have anybody else that you know of.
Nabriska Sweeney, that is Brisker from Hamilton originally. She'll be celebrating tomorrow also. I think she might be celebrating her 16th birthday or something like
60?
that. 16th.
16. Okay.
Yeah, that is just for me, 16. That is just for me.
That is your account?
She's laughing.
Okay.
She looks like she's 16 last time I saw her. So.
Okay, I think I see. Let me just pop on the Facebook page because I think I just saw something there about a wedding anniversary. Sylvester Pemberton is saying belated greetings to his neighbor, Sister C. Griffin. And let me pop back up because belated wedding anniversary greetings to Janice Whitaker Richards and Emmanuel Eddie Richards. That's my domino partner and his wife. They also celebrated. Don't say anything else, gentlemen. So I think we can go forward to the birthday song.
Okay. You sure that's it, right?
Yes.
I don't want to sing twice.
I don't see anything else.
I love you.
Adele is already saying thanks for her advance birthday
Are we
greetings.
ain't sing yet?
We ain't sing yet.
Thanks in advance.
Okay.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
And as usual from us in the studio, may you live to be 101 and us 101 minutes a day, so we don't have to see you go. May God continue to bless you with good health, strength, and of course, wealth.
I can ask a question. How many children Ivor Henry has? Because you see, every now and again he send birthday to a son or a daughter. He look like he got about a dozen children.
Well, he has been blessed.
No, Ivor, correct me please. But he's sending happy birthday to his son, Kevin Henry, on the 5th. So I suppose this is belated birthday greetings. One of these days I'm going to find out how many children Ivor has. Because every now and again I see something pop up. Anyway, gentlemen, we just finished Culturama. Is either we just finished Culturama or Culturama going to come sometime again?
It started?
That's a good question. But Culturama is done. My understanding is that the government is saying what a glorious festival it was. Minister Eric, the Premier, all the ministers are lining up to say what a glorious Culturama it was. And you see, for me, here is the problem that we are facing in Nevis. Because Culturama this year was nothing short of a disaster. Complete and total disaster. The two events which would get creditable ratings were, of course, Randy's show and Monday, the Miss Caribbean show, and the 5-in-1 Fete. But in terms of the other activities, they just lacked energy. They seemed to lack planning. And listen, Swain is my friend. I like Swain. This is not Swain's doing. Swain was just given a basket to carry water. I mean, we heard earlier clock from the minister that the government was broke, that they could not afford to do promotions. And then he came later on and said that they started late. But Obi already put out his program for cultural activities for next year, Culturama 2026. Anybody can do it. Because you know that the first Monday in August is going to be Juve. And then the day after that is last lap, so you just count backwards. There is absolutely no excuse for us to be such poor in planning Culturama. And then at the end of it, coming and telling everybody, don't worry that, it was lovely, it was beautiful, we had a great time. I mean, the Anguilla Carnival Committee advertised at Music Fest in St. Kitts. And Nevis is next door. Anguilla Carnival is the same time as Nevis Culturama. They were advertising at Music Festival in June. And Nevis were up here sitting down on our hands and saying, well, we're not going to money, so people going to come because we spend a lot of money in Culturama 50. It was flat.
If you're going to go to the trouble of hosting a national event, whether it's cricket, football, Culturama, Mango Fest, you must have at your disposal sufficient funds to make it worthwhile. If you do not have sufficient funds to make it worthwhile, especially in today's climate where everything is no longer volunteerism, but moneyism, if you no longer have a budget to execute what you believe should be a formidable event, then don't do it. Because by doing it without the resources you need, you make yourself look like a bigger fool than you ought to be. Culturama is a national event of long standing, of long history, of importance. And it behooves this government to make sure that there is sufficient funding for it. I don't understand. I don't know what the budget is this year. Last year we know it was well over $5 million. It's $5 million to celebrate C50.
Hi, good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening, caller, to you and Tulu and Daily. Basically, right, I just wanted to say my couple of thoughts on Culturama is that I believe I'm hearing an echo in the background. I guess that's kind of weird.
Yeah, we can't help you with that. The technicians will have to work out that.
Okay, so what I wanted to say is that I believe that certain fraction of the Nevis society was isolated during Culturama, and I don't understand why that they keep doing that every single year. It's as if they don't want the participation of the other half of the society, and I think that is very, very bad. For instance, I don't believe I heard one Culturama ad on 2020 Vision Radio. I don't believe they were able to carry any of the shows or any of the things like that. And I don't know if the Minister of Culture realizes that doing that is fracturing the society in a way that makes people feel that they don't belong. And what I basically want to say, all our ancestors came on the same boat. We are all Nivijans, and we should be treated as such. That's all I'm saying. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't think a lot going to change with respect to that, because the government has already made it clear that Culturama under CCM is a CCM thing, and that if anything goes wrong, blame NRP. They control it, they do what they want, but if anything goes wrong, blame NRP. By the way, I got to pause. Last week we sent out greetings in advance to Lydia. Lydia's birthday is today. Lydia Paris. So we got to Lydia. We ain't gonna sing again though. We ain't gonna sing again. And then tomorrow is the birthday of one of my neighbor Millie Cornelius' sister. So we got to send out greetings to her as well. So Gwendolyn Walters, she's down in Tartola. Yeah, so the government has already made up its mind that to hell with NRP. We don't, if you sing a calypso and they feel that it is just sending one word against them, to hell with you. You can't make finals because we don't want you to sing. If you are NRP and you apply for a boat, you better hide behind somebody. They don't want you to judge. They don't want you to participate. Nothing going to 2020. To hell with them. Culturama is a national festival. But they believe that Culturama belongs to CCM. But they want you to be active and to participate. But you know what happened this year? The whole and Nevis rejected CCM with their foolishness.
Yeah, they spoke about a boycott. It's not an NRP boycott. I mean, our candidates were, I see Rohan Ayers was in the troop, the four-season troop. J.D. Keynes had her own troop. I mean, most of the sponsors, the major people in NRP were either sponsors of events or something like that. And so, but when you look around to see where they had the events, the side events, like the tents and stuff like that, they were of a certain political stripe. Every single last one of them. I can't recall, maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, of any NRP owned establishment getting any due when it comes to Culturama. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you know where all the events were held. But to the point of financing, you have to decide whether you want to have a proper event or a mediocre event. We are so accustomed to mediocrity right now. We don't know what good feels like anymore. Or those persons who are intimately involved on the other side would want to believe that criticisms are not deserved, that we should keep our mouth shut. I mean, I saw people posting about people who shut their mouth and all kind of things like that. People have a right to speak. If something is not right, you have a right to speak. I saw the young lady Dan Marine posted last year a whole list of things that she believes should be done to improve Culturama. I don't recall any of them being done. I saw Obi last year put out his post about what things being done. A lot of people put out suggestions. But they're coming from the wrong people because they're not, the suggestions are not taken on board. But when the criticisms come, oh, is NRP doing it? Oh, is people who don't come to the shows? No. People did not participate for whatever reason, for their own right. They have a right not to participate if they don't want to. And so all those who are throwing stones and say, oh, I need to hush your mouth because this and that and that. You know, these are the same people who are making decisions as to how Culturama should be done. The definition of insanity is keep doing the same things wrong and expect a different result. There is no vision left in Culturama. Nothing left in Culturama to save. You have to start from scratch. So even if you have enough money, like they did in C50, because money is everything. They had $5 million to spend in C50. $5 million they spent in C50. I don't know how much they spent in C51, but they spent $5 million for C50. What was the result? How different was C50 to C51? Not much different. It tells you money is one of the factors, but organizational skills and not listening to the dictates of the minister of culture is another one, because they keep interfering and deciding for the committee what should be happening. And when the whole thing blows up now, they run and say, it was magnificent. Well, who are they fooling? The attendance tells you nobody was going to the shows. They went and put on pay-per-view. And I heard the people last night defending it. And on Wednesday night defending pay-per-view because I have pay-per-view in Angola.
Yeah, but Angola was free. Antigua was free.
I mean, it just... Listen. I'm ashamed at this moment to see the level at which Culturama has sunk. And he's been sinking for some time. Because they put square pegs in round holes on these committees. They do not invite suggestions by anybody but their own. When did you ever see, from 91 when I came home till now, when have you ever seen any minister, any candidate, even participants jamming in a political shirt?
Mark did it.
Mark did it. What year?
Was C50 or the year before?
Okay.
But Mark did it. Whole blue suit. Remember they put in a whole troop, which fell flat like a pancake.
So the long jam.
The long jam. And they did not learn from that.
Here is where we are falling down, and they don't even realize how far they have fallen. People are not going to buy into this foolishness of tribalizing Culturama. People are not taking it. And the reactions are showing by the attendance at the events. Dismal. Look at the parade of troops on Tuesday. 2 adult troops. 2. Four Seasons troop was 1/10 the normal size. Jerry Keynes had the other troop. Couple of children troops.
Here is the challenge I had with that. I really intended to come downtown.
But a couple of masquerades and clowns from St. Kitts.
By 3:30, somebody posted a message to say the parade was done.
Done. It was sad.
Good evening, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How are you?
I'm giving God the glory. Let me start by saying, right, the young people use the word vibes. There was none for Culturama this year. I come from the era when we used to have jamming every afternoon. I'm not expecting it now, but I'm saying what it was and what it is, comparison. When you're done jamming in the afternoon, you hype, you come home, and you get that bucket car. We didn't have 24 hours running water. You get that bucket of cold water, and you shower, and you're gone because you're feeling something. This year there was nothing. I mean, some people like poets, so they put poets in the square. When nobody likes steel band, nobody like masquerade, bring something for everybody. You go downtown, poets in the square. Some people pass straight because they don't like poetry. So give some poetry then and give some steel band music then. But I don't know if you have any masquerade, because when I went to look at the parade, and I'm stand corrected, I see 2 masquerade troops. I don't know if the Navy's one had passed before. I'm not saying there was none. I'm saying I did not see none. Now, as far as I could recall, when Navy's had masquerade, I don't think Sinks had any. Sinks about 7 masquerade troops. I got them every year for the parade. They have about 7 masquerade. And you know what happened? They started in the schools. We got schools too. There was a light-skinned guy from Rollins. I don't know who could have danced masquerade the time. I forget his name. And, I mean, we don't have such anymore. The people in authority. And let me say what the Premier said. Let me tell you now, I'm not the Minister of Culture, so he don't clear his name. He's not the Minister of Culture. He started show with that last night. I am asking, where is the Minister of Culture? Because whatever this new president or whatever he name himself be, he just walking in there. There's a story to be told, you know, and I don't know the story, but I'm not going to come on the radio with it. And when the guy did what he did, nobody said nothing. And so therefore, what you could expect, you don't expect not a thing out of a bag of coal under the dust. Nothing was happening. I went to the shows because I pass and like to be in things. I didn't feel like I had to go. In my time, I had the feeling I must go because there was an excitement. We didn't have that at all. They boiled down from jamming to Bacchanal Corner. There was no Bacchanal Corner. There was absolutely no excitement in the shows. And then, let me be straight up, because we can say what is good today, and what is good today is not good tomorrow. I remember when they had the controversy over the petitions coming up for the Calypso show, and we were told by who knows best that this is Nevis Culturama. We were further told when my cousin Hazel Glasswood name come up, said they went down come Queen. We were reminded that the carnival is St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival. Well, for this Culturama, I think all that changed because I personally didn't go to one of the shows because of my own reasons. And I think they had other people who felt that way. But when the premier, the now premier, this is the time for him to make a statement. Because you know what? He had a lot of mouth when he was the premier of this country, you know. And let us recall his statement that he made. He had nothing to say. When NRP was in government, everything went wrong under NRP, including Culturama. Man, I couldn't be nothing worse than this. I don't know what they're going to do, but they got to go dig up. Culturama are dead. Culturama buried. They got to go dig them up first or bring them to the surface and start all over again. Good night and goodbye.
Thank you very much. Let me tell you something. Two things that hit me. On Tuesday, I was in a conversation with a good friend of mine in Anguilla. Let me read the message because I was talking about parade of troops and how light it was. And my friend said to me, 77 masquerades will be coming down from St. Kitts tomorrow. Nevis is only a little short boat ride from St. Kitts. 77 masquerades from St. Kitts in Anguilla on Tuesday to be a part of the festival. I got pictures from Tartola and I saw stilt walkers, Makajombi, from St. Kitts in Tartola. And in Nevis we had one Makajombi, Minister Nisbet up on the stilts looking to see if the hospital finished. Let's go to the phone lines. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Carlisle.
How are you?
And friends. Good. Remember now, Mark said, you know, on a petition over there, but it's a petition who really showed this year, without petition come this year, Nevis Culturama world really dead. A petition come and try to keep it alive. You hear? And you could see evidence. It's clear. When they're looking for the Minister of Culture, baby, in Antigua, everybody see the Minister of Culture in Antigua. What? Tell them, man. You know what, I'm going to Nevis Culturama, me come on Antigua, this car, it's string man up there. So, they ain't care nothing about Nevis. All of them ministers show you clearly, only one thing they care about Nevis, about putting money in their pocket. They don't care about nothing else. All right.
Thank you very much. Let me play this clip. Let me play this one, get it up there and get it playing.
Good morning, Wadadley. Good morning, Antigua and Barbuda. We are coming live and lively to you from the beautiful island of Nevis. And we are so happy to be here for the Breakfast Fest for 2025. We are the Honeybees String Band. And we want to say a special thanks to Dr. Thwaites and his team for inviting us to Antigua. Yeah! Big up Dr. Thwaites and his team. And we are bringing you a different style of music today. I don't know if any of you are accustomed to string band music, but we are bringing some string band music to you. And just in case you love this string band music and you want to hire us, just give us a call. I am the Honorable Eric Evelyn. I'm the Minister of Culture for Nevis, but I'm with the band today. I take off the minister hat today. I'm with the band today. And ladies and gentlemen, we are happy to be here in Antigua, and we're going to give you some sweet, sweet Honeybee string band music. Enjoy! And enjoy Breakfast Fest 2025.
Gentlemen, I'm going to stop that. Our Minister of Culture, Eric Evelyn, his string band, the string band of which he's a part of, got an invitation to go to Antigua. And with Culturama flat like a pancake, with Culturama in the ICU, with Culturama on its knees, dying, this boy jumped on a plane and went to Antigua to play the greater in a string band. 20 minutes on the stage. You heard the big speech that he gave? Nowhere did Eric say, listen, I am a minister in Nevis and we have in Culturama and I invite you to come.
Nope.
Never once said, we have in Culturama and I want to invite you to come to Nevis. But he took a tail part and went to Antigua to participate in their carnival, and the whole CCM closed ranks. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. It's okay for him to go to Antigua. But while he up there in Antigua, I want to tell you this. Let me play this one as well.
Anguilla, it's your turn to experience Sugar Mass 54. The St. Kitts Nevis National Carnival Committee, in collaboration with Anguilla Summer Festival team, will be live at the Miss Anguilla pageant and the Senior Calypso Monarch at the Lansombourg Cultural Center on August 5th and 6th. Then we hit the road for the Grand Parade on August 8th. Just look for the Sugar Mass tent and grab promotional items from our team. Join us in St. Kitts Nevis from December 12th to January 2nd because we are sweet to the core for Sugar Mass 54.
I don't mind giving them a free plug. You see what's happening? St. Kitts sent 100 folklore people to Anguilla. 100 set up a whole booth and had giveaways in Anguilla. St. Kitts not advertised once in Culturama in Nevis, but they advertised in Anguilla Carnival. Anguilla came to St. Kitts and advertised down there, and our Culturama dead. And Eric get up, jump on a plane, gone Antigua to wind up a little bottom and to play greater in a string band. I love the Honeybees, but if Eric had been missing, nobody would have missed him. Nobody at all. But according to the CCM people, look, he come back the same day. Would he have done it in Culturama 50?
No.
Would he have done it last year for the big Culturama 50? The answer is no. Good evening, Carl.
Mr. Powell, good evening.
How are you, sir?
It is good. Very good. I, Mr. Daly, and Mr. Tulu, my good brother, good evening. Culturama in Nevis is dead because we have a gentleman used to sing cultural song. Baholo the Meek sing Culturama song. But we have another guy came in year after and he started to sing political song. And he turned Culturama into a political issue, a political gimmick. And we can't get anywhere. I look at the Honorable Gaston Brown the other morning and the Juve. And Gaston Brown there from Antigua and Barbuda, and he there with the people. We are our elected representative for St. George. Where is Honorable Eric Evelyn? He should have been here. What? He gone where? To represent who? Represent a band. The band could go, but he could invite the people from Antigua to come, the people from St. Kitts and Nevis and the rest of the world to come to Nevis and decide we're going to help these people for their culture. But we ain't going to Culturama now, you know. Culturama dead. I will turn it into a political disaster. Gentlemen, good night. May God bless you.
Thank you very much. The message here is that, listen, the whole government, they boycott Culturama, you know.
Who did you see from, who did you see? I'm hearing this echo.
It's okay now? Who did you see from the SKNLP government on Nevis?
I didn't go to Juve this year.
I
stayed home.
saw one gentleman, the Minister of Education. That's the only person I saw. I did not see the Prime Minister. I saw Jeffrey Handley, like I said, but I didn't see. I don't know if they were there or not. Maybe I stand corrected, but I didn't see any other member. And they normally would participate, with Juve, but I didn't see any of them. And I was saying they weren't there, but I clearly saw Jeffrey by himself participating. But to the point, Carlisle, with the Minister of Culture being in Antigua playing the greater. This is such a step down, because I mean, if you're playing the fife, I could say you're playing the guitar, the quattro or something, but you're playing the least of the instruments as a deputy premier of Nevis on a world stage. Leave that to some young man, some young person who looking opportunity to travel and see it, get
a stamp in the passport.
Exactly. There are a lot of young men down in Hanley's Road, up in Hamilton, up in Rollins, who would love the opportunity to go and expose themselves to this kind of genre, and give the young people a chance. And you heard what they say; they are available for bookings. They say once money sharing, he hand out long like anybody else one year.
Good evening, Carla.
Good evening, Carla. Good evening, Dr. Daly, and good evening, Tulu. Let me just add to what the last caller said. Honorable Gaston Brown and his wife were in costume, in a troupe in Antigua playing mass. Where were our representatives there? Did you see any of them in a costume?
Yeah, I saw one of them. I saw one of them playing Makajombi.
Okay, this was the poorest. What do you call it? Parade I've ever seen. And maybe it was a good thing I stayed home, because I was able to watch Antigua parade. I was able to watch Caravana, and I shook my head. I've been around Culturama since 1988, and I don't see where we're going with it. Coming back to a point you made, Carlisle, earlier, how much advertising did Culturama do on the stage at Music Festival this year?
None.
When we had a worldwide audience. We had, at one night, we had 16,000 people in that place. Was Culturama advertised? Were the girls brought on stage? The contestants? Mr. Cool, were they brought on stage? Any of the activities for Culturama? Did we hear about any of that during Music Festival?
The caller, you must understand, it even goes beyond that, because the premier had a VIP booth for Music Fest.
Okay.
And so, having his booth there would have been a good opportunity to not only sit there and drink the finest and eat the finest, being catered to, but to make sure it's a working event, and as you indicated, to use it as an opportunity to advertise the upcoming C51. But they didn't do any of that at all. They went to New York to celebrate the most boring rebranding of Nevis Tourism Authority, and rather than use that occasion also to advertise for Culturama, they were up there celebrating the upcoming Music Fest. I've never seen anything like this. It's like these guys have been subsumed into such unintelligible nonsense. I don't understand where the minds are at anymore.
It's sad. It's sad. I don't know where we're going with Culturama, but after 50, Culturama has gone backwards. It's gone back to zero. So maybe that was the intent all along, to go back to zero. and start all over again? Does that make sense?
It doesn't, but to them it might. Thank you very much, caller.
Have a good night. Have a good night.
Yes, thank you very much. Listen, Bahola the Meek, I have a 45. I'm trying to get that in a fashion, either on a pen drive or something, so that I will be able to get it played. But in 1979, Bahola the Meek sent out a calypso. And just to give you a couple of lines from the calypso, because by 79, Bahola knew something was not right. So he said, in 79, I the Meek sending out a call, and urgently going out to one and all, asking Nivisions to step in and save the Culturama. Because according to him, it's a show of splendor, a kind of money rama with no relation to culture. Well, this year had no relation to nothing. Macajumbi gone, the string band, Bailey, string band in Antigua, masquerades and thing, you're looking for them and you can't find the numbers. Caller, good evening. Thanks for holding.
Good evening, everybody on the panel. Am I going through?
Yes, go ahead, my brother. We're listening to you.
Yes. Well, I'm going to try to make this short and hope to make sense, because when I just speak to make people think. I don't know what the people of Nevis expect when those people who is in power do anything wrong and they go back and still elect them. And how they elect them? No vote. Because the man tricked everybody in the first place. When he started paying people to vote, when he stopped that, everybody else decided they ain't going to vote because they're not getting paid. That was a trick. So now he's flowing now. Nobody in Nevis voting. So you will have everybody just going to the poll. Do not make an X because they get paid not to make the X. And I'm also going to say, what if the same man that went to Antigua to jump up and whine, if he could stay when he was running for position, if he could stay there and say, before I start, I ain't got no job, and when I start working, I still ain't gonna got a job, something like that, and they still elect him. So what he's done in Nevis, what system is doing, the people is in the majority who's voting for them. The people in minority is voting for them and they constantly win. But the one in majority who can take him out is not voting. And I must say one last thing before I go. I give you three guys much kudos for holding on, because you guys notice I don't call it much because I'm doing more listening than talking. But this one here get my attention. And more can be said, but I'm going to let somebody else come in. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.
Ellie, thank you very much for calling. Let me play an ad before we jump back in.
Do you know what you're drinking? If you are drinking plastic bottled water, chances are you're consuming plastic contaminants, BPA, and other hormone-disrupting chemicals you cannot see with your naked eye. Those empty plastic bottles take up to 450 years to decompose. In the meantime, plastic bottles are polluting the environment. They are dangerous to the planet and our health. The safer solution is to acquire your own Kangen alkaline water filtration system, and you'll never have to buy toxic bottled water again. Help save the planet and drink clean water for less than the price you'll pay for acid plastic bottled water over the next few years. The Kangen technology is the world's most popular, most acquired water immunizer. For more information, you can call or WhatsApp us on 917-207-1307. That's 917-207-1307. Change your water, change your life.
Pico, the way to go for residential, commercial, and industrial wiring, data, security, UPS, and generator installation. When you need electrical work done now, done right, done at an affordable price, contact Finney's Electrical Company. Call or WhatsApp 665-1916 or email pico_1166@yahoo.com. Pico, the way to go.
Thank you very much. And we come back up. Let me slip in this early so that I can repeat it later. The end of this month, last Saturday in the month, Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge and members of a team from the NRP will be in New York. There will be a mix and mingle event. Tickets are only $75. And it's from 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the evening. And it will be held at 781 Castle Hill Avenue, Bronx in New York. As I said to you, tickets are only $75. Get your pen and paper, get your phone, and take this number that you will call to make your reservations. It's 917-939-9943. 917-939-9943. Make your contributions, buy your tickets, even if you're not going. Buy your tickets. By the way, I'm going to be in New York for that event as well. And I'm looking to see all of you who tune in on a regular basis to make sure that you're here. Tell me, well, this is your chance to support the NRP. So mark your calendar. It's the last Saturday in the month of August, the Saturday before Labor Day. So an event from 4 to 8 o'clock, 781 Castle Hill Avenue, Bronx in New York. Tickets are only $75. Come out and mix and mingle. Ask us all the questions that you have been planning to ask us. So that is there, and we are back here. Let me tell you, when I know that the Premier didn't care one hell about Culturama is when he made this statement.
Here a fellow making noise yesterday say only 4 women I could have get to go in for Miss Culture. And I really did not know what to say to him, so I tell him, well, you should have shaved your legs and enter too. Because what else am I going to tell him? He vexed with me, telling me only 4 girls you could get to go into Miss Culture. Well, you should have shaved your legs and enter the competition too. Since you needed 5, you should have offered your services as the 5th contestant.
And the Premier believed that he made a wise statement, I can't even get vexed with the Premier again. I just leave him alone. He's just a backside. You just got to leave him alone. Could you imagine? 2 of the 4 girls entered before. Half of the competition entered before. You had 4 girls. 2 of the 4 had entered before.
Repeats.
They're repeats. And somebody is saying, but Mr. Premier, we just had 50. We spend a lot of money on Culturama. 50. I mean, you were not looking at that time. How come we only have 4? And he tell the young fella, you could have shaved your legs and enter. And he believed that it was a smart statement. He's so condescending, he's so rude, he's so out of order. The Premier so don't know his place. And people laugh up with, yeah, tell him enter.
But you see, it goes to a mentality that is part of the mediocrity that has enveloped us as a country. We have a mediocre Premier, and therefore he gives these mediocre answers. But let us backtrack a little bit, just a little bit, and ask yourself, well, who do you blame for this fiasco of C51?
NRP.
No, I'm being serious. Who do you blame? Who is in charge
Premier
of C50 or C51? Because if things had gone well,
he would have
the ministers would have stood up and said, beat the chest. Mm-hmm. But the same way they are trying to now convince persons who know very well that what they're saying is untrue, that this was a good event, that it was a success. But who do you blame? And what should be the consequence of that failure? It's a massive failure. It's a national embarrassment.
It is. Carla, good evening. How are you?
Carla, just imagine if the 2 hours spent every Wednesday night was dedicated to hyper Culturama, get some of the contestants on the radio to encourage people to come out and support them, the troops, the bands, or whoever. If those 2 hours every Wednesday night was used for that, what difference could that have made instead of the foolishness that we listen to every Wednesday night? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we missed a call while we were on that one. But call again.
Let me say one more thing. When last Oh, okay.
Caller, good evening.
Yes, good evening, gentlemen. I'm so happy to hear that our government are bringing us into the 21st century and following in the footsteps of Europe and North America and encouraging transgender contestants in our Queen show.
Exactly.
I think that's tremendous. That's commendable.
Not just transgender, they encouraging males to take part in the female show. That is what the premiere did.
Mr. Cool and Mr. Coolest. Okay.
Thank you very much.
The point I was trying to make, the Nevis Cultural Development Foundation, where is that? The last conversation we heard was that the Deputy Premier had all intentions to withdraw the legislation that enabled that corporation to exist.
And merge it with the Department of Culture.
The whole thing is too much for them. Because any blind Batimus who could see that it is critical to have the foundation solidly entrenched in creating the kind of atmosphere, the kind of links with regional international bodies to get financing and cooperation, collaboration going. And the Deputy Premier is saying to us,
we don't need it.
We don't need it.
Yeah, straight away.
Straight away.
Yeah. Good evening, caller.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, good night, good night.
Good night.
Powell, you know what baffled me most? The food owners pay the money in full. And the college semi-final, when it's $1 they take it and cater for Gingerland. And everybody in the garden is hand on the counter. They're not going to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I was in town.
You made that point earlier.
I was in town Monday for Juve and Tuesday for Last Lap. And you walk around to the business places or the small vendors on the side of the road, and my heart broke for them. I actually stood for a good 2 hours in one location watching Main Street. And my heart bled for all those persons who got up early in the morning to cook pots of food, goat water, conch's water, cook up coolers full of drinks. And I stood there and watched them. And I said, my God, these persons are going to get their shirt handed to them because there's nothing happening. Nothing happening. One vendor said he made $69 Juve. 69. When a case of drinks now you can't buy for $70. You have to feel it for the vendors who have gone out there and put their best. Abide by the regulations of keeping the food warm, making sure the drinks are ice cold, moving the equipment, moving their tents, only to break them down Tuesday night.
Renting tents.
You go home with nothing. Go home with nothing. They had much less vendors this year than last year. Much less. And they still couldn't make $1. I would like somebody to show me a vendor who made money. Really and truly. Show me any vendor that made money. It is a sad reflection of what is happening. And then you have the cultural village, those persons who paid an arm and a leg to have the booths set up, and then for all the tents, they have them everywhere else but in the village. At their favorite CCM supporters' business places.
But Eric said Culturama was great.
To who?
Now, to say to the people of Nevis and the people of the world who listened that Culturama was great and it was a success, you said,
that's what they say.
Again, it shows the level of disrespect that the CCM leadership has for the people of Nevis and for people in general around the world. I mean, I saw nothing, I look at nothing, but I heard what's going on.
You're not going to fool people.
You know what?
You can't fool people.
Stick up in. Good evening. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Powell. How are you doing?
I am getting better and better.
Well, that sounds good. That sounds good. Well, Mr. Powell is Taki. And it's that time of the year again. I'm calling to remind all our friends and supporters about NEVDC's 20th. This is the 20th, a big thing. 20th honors banquet. This year, a little change up. We're going to be honoring NEVDC's founders. So this is going to be a big one this year. The theme for this year is Bridging the Gap, Creating Impact, Influence, and Legacies. The event is going to be held at Martin's Crossing, which is the same venue it's been at maybe the last 5-6 years, in Greenbelt, Maryland. Saturday, 9/27, September 27. Now, I think over the last 3 years, we've had to move it up to like 14, 15. But this year, it's gone back, and it frees up a lot of those people who had to stay home for independence celebration. So come on up this year and just have a nice weekend with us. I must note that, Mr. Powell, this is not just a Saturday night event. The banquet is on the Saturday night, and the most popular brunch this side of the Atlantic on the Sunday, from 12 p.m. until the evening of Sunday. It's usually when the New York people leave, because they always stay until they're ready to go. So yeah, come on out. The admissions this year, expenses went up, so we had to tick it up a little bit. We had to take a little hit. But the fee this year is $120 until September 7th. But after September 7th, it goes up to $130. Tickets can be purchased at nevdc.org. Again, until the 7th of September, it's going to be $120 and $130 thereafter. There's a blackout for rooms at the Holiday Inn, which is a hotel right next door, couple hundred feet away from the event. There's a blackout of rooms until the 8th of September. And I cannot tell you what those prices are, but they're going to be favorable compared with what everyone else will be paying. I don't think I've ever seen the hotel rooms go for more than $120. I've seen them as high as $120, and I've seen them as low as like 90 something. So that's it.
But as usual, it's going to be a good event with dancing and so on.
Yeah, man. The entertainment is going to be Image Band. We're going to have Image Band and Steel Tennis. Raffle, of course, and we're going to have entertainment. More than one entertainer from Nevis we're going to be up here this year. It's going to be a big thing.
Stucky, thank you very much. Let me start to fill out my sponsor sheets to see if anybody want to sponsor me to the event. I attended it. Beautiful event. The Sunday was maybe even better than the Saturday, and you get 2 for 1. So thank you very much, Stucky. You can call us next week to remind us.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
All right, Mr. Powell. Thank you.
Okay. Before we get back into the discussions, let me remind people of this. This book, if you look right at the top there, so you see Miss Charmin Powell. She contributed to this book, and it became a U.S. national bestseller. Success DNA. All you go and buy this book. And somebody told me that she is writing her own book too. So go and buy this book, and it is compelling read. So go out, it's not expensive, buy that, and make sure that you get yourself a good independence present. Make sure you can gift it to people for Christmas as well. So let me see what we have up next here. Want to waste no time with the minister. The minister said Culturama was great. It was fantastic and all of that. And I let me say, me believe him. Me not make no noise with him. I know somebody who said that it was really good is my friend. Daily don't like me talk about my friend, but this is my friend, the minister. What is jamming? In she CCM shot. What's she doing? What you call that? That's wine?
This is for Culturama this year?
Culturama just gone. Man, Daily not turn your head. I want you watch my friend, the minister. She doing a wine. I mean, when you make wine and it come out to real wine, it turn to vinegar.
No, low wine.
Low wine. Carla, hold on a little bit, because I get somebody to send me a video from a band too. So, watch me, partner. No, that is what you call wine. I feel that is wine. Watch them children. I told the minister, I say, wait for me. Wait till I come. Me and you going to do a little wine and a little walk up. He went and go wine by himself and embarrass himself. Father Jesus.
There is low wine. Not even vinegar.
But the worst part of
somebody should have tell her don't put on this.
No, the worst part of it is coming into the Culturama in a CCM shot. You realize that people are already not participating in this thing.
Make it worse.
Common sense not tell you that I'm not going to go in there with.
That boycott was against CCM, not against Culturama.
Exactly.
Hi, good evening, Carla.
Carlisle,
Yes.
I hope that somebody on the Culturama committee, the government, or whoever is listening, Stocky Stapleton has been doing a tremendous job to advertise his product that's upcoming in September. And he goes on every possible radio station he can. That's what it's about. That is what it's about. Stocky, keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, let me show you this. Because I want to show you how the government does pay a truckload of money to advertise. You see that? Navy's tourism authority with this black and white foolishness what they got. You ever see water black and white? I mean, they're taking this joke too far.
They can't seem to climb down. Rather than climb down, they double down. Everybody and their grandmother has told them,
in our work,
this is not keeping with the vibrancy of a tourism ad. But they can't seem to climb down from it. And so they dig in and embarrass themselves even further by keep publishing this nonsense, this grayscale nonsense.
They pay a lot of money.
Pay a lot of money.
For choppiness.
Right? Over $100,000. I mean, as a man, as a human being, the first act of contrition is recognizing you made a mistake, accepting that mistake, apologizing for the mistake, and moving forward in a new direction. Isn't that right, Pastor?
You're absolutely correct.
Good. So why is it that this government believe that they're infallible, that they are beyond reproach? Why is it they can't accept the majority opinion that this grayscale nonsense is not working for us? Why is it they can't walk it back and say, listen, we have to now recognize that the preponderance of the evidence is against us? Why not do that for the benefit of the country? We all can't be wrong. We can't all be wrong. So why do they believe, the minister and his cabal, the premier, believe that they are the ones who are right, when everybody and the grandmother is telling them they are wrong with this?
Well, the premier answer.
You have persons who are adept at the art. I don't ever call people's name, but Von Han's name. You can't find a more preeminent artist saying this is nonsense. You have other persons who are adept in the tourism sector to tell you this is nonsense.
And they still double down.
And they still double down. It tells you this government is intractable. They cannot recognize their own limitations. They are right and everybody is wrong. The same thing now with the post-mortem of the Culturama 51. They are telling the world that what they are seeing with their own eyes is wrong and they are right. I saw poll after poll, informal as they are, that said this has been the most sad, flat Culturama. Not just people on our side, every side is saying it. I was standing next to a gentleman from St. Kitts on last lap, watching the parade. You know, he said to me, I want my $62 for boat fare. He said the parish festivals had more life than the national Culturama of Nevis. You are telling you, the parish festivals on St. Kitts, according to him, had more raise, more buzz, more activity, more life than our national Culturama. And this is a man who has been coming to Nevis every Culturama for years.
And the government insult him by saying that this was a resounding success?
Yeah. I mean, it is a slap in the face for fair-thinking people. Listen, you get out what you put in. If you put in mediocrity, you will get out mediocrity. If you put in excellence, you will get out excellence. You cannot put in mediocrity and expect excellence. That's foolishness. It would never happen. The Premier, his Deputy Premier, his Minister of Health, but I don't see Brian at all. I didn't see Brian at all for the Culturama. I don't know if he was in church. I don't know where he was, but I didn't see him. But you cannot put in mediocrity and expect excellence. It's not going to happen.
Good evening, caller.
Hello, good night.
Night.
I want to ask the ministers and who listen to him. What about the boot vendors them? Who spend all the money to the boot them? The last night is when they just make the most money. And we said they're searching people by the gate. Why they shut down in there? I understand they shut down the street park and they said that stopping a while. But in there is a closed place. So why they had to shut it down? And everybody still end up on the beach. They didn't shut down the beach. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you very much. Gentlemen, that's a serious concern. I tell you what, I went to the food fair the same time that I went to the food fair last year. Last year I left home about 1 o'clock and I went to the food fair and there was atmosphere, there were people at the food fair. This year when I walked in, I wonder what the hell happening. Because I left home 1 o'clock in the afternoon, went to the food fair to get my lunch, and down there was dead. You had more people who were entertaining, playing the steel band and those kind of things, than the people who were in there as people who were purchasing. I had to go to the function on Saturday night, so I left home after 7. And when I passed, there were a good number of cars on the outside. And then when I inquired, I'm told people came in the evening. But you're talking about a food fair that started since morning. So from morning to about 5 o'clock in the afternoon was, well, morning to 2 o'clock was flat, dead. Started picking up later in the afternoon. But I suspect that a lot of people had a lot of food left over.
I know one vendor who told me that for the entire food fair, he made $69.
At the food fair you're talking about?
Yeah.
I thought we were just talking about Juve morning.
You were selling $1 craft? I know a vendor told me that she was selling food and they sandwich her between the art and craft people. So nobody was coming that way looking for food. They were coming there looking for art and craft. Well, and that is where they put her, in between the art and craft.
Listen, this Culturama, if we are going to continue with it, this is going to really need some soul searching. This is going to really need some deep commitment from all quarters. what has been happening is a tribal presentation of our culture, where one side is favored over the other. You can't have that. Culturama was to bring, the idea of Culturama was to bring cohesion into the communities, for everybody to participate and not to be favored or to be prosecuted. You know, we have allowed Culturama to degenerate. And to tell the truth, under the present context, if we was to happen again in 52, I don't see the point. Because nothing will change. If you're going with the same dogma, if you're going with the same people, if you're going with the same lack of funding, if you're going with the same premier and deputy premier who don't know ass from the elbow, it's pointless. Because people have seen how this thing has deteriorated and has withdrawn themselves from the events. People who used to go to shows say, listen, I go in shows from since ever. And my bottom hurting me sitting on concrete all night. 4 or 5 hours sitting on concrete. If you want to be comfortable, you gotta walk with a pillow to sit on. This is 2025. And you're still getting wet if it rains. And you still have to walk with a seat cushion to get comfortable. Where have we evolved? We have not evolved, we have devolved. Things have gone from bad to worse. I mean, we all know the old troops, the masquerades, the clowns, giant despair, Indian cowboys.
Sweet lemon.
I mean, you had... This is where the Navy's Cultural Development Foundation has a principal role and responsibility to ensure that these traditions continue. But how can you do that when the minister is threatening to de-legislate the NCDF?
Well,
how can you do it? It makes absolutely lunacy. We should be having our young people who are doing masquerades going up to Antigua, going down to Statia, going to St. Martin, going to Anguilla, going down to St. Kitts. We should be having our clowns and giant despair and all those traditional things coming back as part and parcel of a redevelopment, a re-emergence of a culture, if we are interested in saving it. If not, leave it.
We were told not long ago, since Eric is a minister, that Culturama as we know it is a thing of the past, and they have now moved into something that they call fusion culture. And so the minister and the Department of Culture and the Cultural Foundation, all them who control Culturama in Nevis, had already told us that the past Culturama that we know, you're talking about and Carl is talking about, is a thing of the past.
But then take away the name Culturama. Call it Nevis Carnival. Because you cannot call it Culturama and got out the cultural aspects that made it happen in the first place.
They say it's called fusion culture.
I don't take enough fusion culture, nothing.
That's what they said.
Either your carnival or your culture.
Okay.
Listen, I love a couple of things about the Bahamas. One, conchs. Get as much conchs as you want. All the different types of conch you can eat. 2, Giancano.
Giancano sweet.
The Bahamian Giancano don't change.
Giancano sweet.
They don't have no fusion Giancano. Why are you going to have fusion masquerade? Why are you going to... Listen, in the old days, you know, not even clown was a Nevis thing. Clown was something you saw when you went down to St. Kitts. In Nevis was cowboy and Indians.
Yeah, true.
And masquerade. And giant despair. And red cross and plait the ribbon. So not even clown and masquerade don't change. The masquerade that I saw with Pappy Rollins and Jokong and them and Black John and Blacker is the same masquerade I want to see until the day that I die. I don't want to see a fusion masquerade. I want to see a fusion, Eric. I want to see what that look like.
You don't see it already.
Okay.
He's live and living in color.
Well, what kind of fusion is this?
Well, it's a confusion. A fusion, a confusion.
Who is that?
That's the minister.
It is real clown suit. He should wear that to work.
That is not clown. That is not Red Cross.
That
is not masquerade. That is not plait the ribbon. As Martin Powell would say, that are neither fish fowl nor good red herring. I don't know what that is.
Why these guys really disrespect the people of Nevis? Well,
the people of Nevis are now disrespecting themselves.
No, I think we have walked up.
Hold on. The people of Nevis are disrespecting themselves by allowing these clowns to continue to fool them.
No, it's not going to happen next election.
Fool me once. Shame on you.
Mm-hmm.
Fool me twice.
Shame on me.
Shame on me.
Flory says that all the time.
Let me drop in a couple of things here quickly again. The $5,000 raffle has been postponed until Independence. You can still check me for tickets. I went and refreshed and got a new batch of tickets, so you can still check me for tickets. The NRP Youth raffle is also going to be coming up at Independence time, and they got 42 different prices, some fantastic prices. And I just collected a book of tickets today, so I will be selling those tickets as well. Good evening, caller.
Mr. Powell?
Yes.
Mr. Daly made a comment about NCDF. I'm honestly, I'm not understanding what he said in terms of disconnecting NCDF from Culturama, if that's what it meant. Because
let me Daly is here. Daly could talk for himself, but the minister made a statement that we played an ear that they were going to deactivate the legislation that created the NCDF, and that NCDF will fall in line with the Department of Culture.
But isn't NCDF the vehicle that promotes Culturama?
Yes, it is, but you have to understand that the NCDF was created by NRP. So if it is created by NRP, just like how they allowed the dialysis machine to rot, just like how they now don't understand the NCDF, so they just push it aside. You don't know how to use it. Push it aside and let culture do everything.
Then therein lies the problem, because NCDF should be working with the Department of Education to promote culture in the schools, the steel pans, the masquerades. All of the schools should have an entry in the parade of a culture in Nevis, and you don't see that. The other thing is, I question, do you realize that you've never seen a Culturama show being brought to on the dedicated channel here, which is the NCDF channel? What about all the elderly people in the homes and children in the homes who can't go out to those shows and perhaps can't afford to pay online to see the show?
Well, you're in
That
problems.
is where NCDF should be supporting our people.
You're in problems because the premier say Anguilla charge, and they charge more than Nevis, so I'll go pay your money and stop complaining.
Yeah, but they oh Lord, let me get out the radio.
Thank you very much, Carla. Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to switch this subject for a couple of minutes. I think we have, by the way, before we switch the subject, we should say to the people in Culturama, just like how Dr. Daly volunteered to give you free services with the poultry processing plant, there are people around who we agree in, like me, who have some experience in Culturama. I spent more than a dozen years on the Culturama committee. I was the chairman of Calypso from 95 until 98, 4 consecutive years, including years when we started the show at 8 o'clock in the night. And one year we had the results 11:15. Suti said, boy, no, hold them until midnight. We started the show on time and had the results on time and gave you quality shows. There are people in Nevis who are willing to serve and to help to breathe new life into Culturama. But CCM believe that Culturama is a CCM thing. So lock out NRP. And then when anything go wrong, say they boycott. CCM people boycott Culturama this year too. You think NRP boycott? NRP people took part. But NRP people said, we're not spending money on mediocrity. You want us to come give us quality service and we'll come to the shows. How come NRP didn't boycott the Mango Festival? Since I talking foolishness and say NRP boycotted Culturama, how come NRP didn't boycott the Mango Festival?
Who was the first person to call for the boycotting of Culturama? Was Mark Brantley.
I donated.
Okay.
I donated significantly.
You donated significantly to the Culturama?
No, to the Mango Fest.
To the Mango Fest, okay.
It's a national event.
And you donated stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, gentlemen, let's talk water. Because a friend of mine called me from a far place and told me that all the noise they're making about the Madden's well, I should go and do an investigation. Get my friend, help me to send up the drone and take some pictures. So I inquired why. He said, Powell, the well that they're boasting about up at Madden's hardly functions. I said, but that don't make no sense. That is not what the government is telling me. He said, well, listen, see if you can get close and get some pictures. Nevlec was asked to plant 3 poles to bring the power up where the well is. Nevlec went and planted the poles a long time ago. But they are still using a generator to operate the well when the water is low in the other areas. It's not that, we put a well in Madden's too. And we put a well in Fotgills. And as soon as they're done, power, and those wells were running 24 hours a day so that we could get the water. Here is what the CCM administration, what they have running the well when they want water. That generator.
When they want water?
When they want water. That generator does not run all the time. I made sure that I got my people to go, and that generator was not operating. The well was not being operated at the time. And this is during Culturama. I want to show you something else. Because I was wondering why is it no power had been brought up. You see those 3 poles? Nevlec planted those 3 poles. So they did what they were supposed to do in putting power in the area. But you want to hear a joke? Look at this. All that the government has to do is to bring the power from that pole, which is there, to the pole that they planted, which is 30 feet away. Normally when you build a house or you do a structure, they plant the pole and you have the galvanized pole up in the air. They just have to run the power from that pole to the pole which was planted 30 feet away. And then from there to the well itself is only about another 100 feet. So the CCM administration, Minister Brand and his crew, all they have to do is to run the lines 130 feet to get the power to the well. That's the well right there. And they can't get it done. They can't get it done.
Last Wednesday, I was in Butler's and I asked somebody about that same well, a person from Butler's. And the person said to me that the well is not operational, they're not using it. And I couldn't figure out how could, because I know Mr. Brand said that we've been getting water from that well since December last day.
There is no power except the standby power from the generator.
So that's what the person told me, that because they recognize that perhaps they went there because they're from the area and nothing going on.
No. The electrical work to get the power from where Nevlec brought it, 130 feet to the well, that work has not been done. 130 feet, a wire, and then the connection, that has not been done.
So what is the excuse, what excuse the government has given?
None. Every now and again they tell you about the well and how much the well can produce. Because they're thinking nobody going up there to check that it's not working.
We have been fortunate for most of this year that we've been having sporadic, substantial rainfall.
Substantial rainfall, yes.
We have been very fortunate.
Bless.
And therefore, these guys have let down the guard because they feel that the weather is going to continue as is, and you're going to get enough rainfall for farmers, enough rainfall for persons to fill their cisterns and their rain barrels and whatever else, so they don't have to be stressed out about finding the resources necessary to connect the well. And so they've been going along willy-nilly, doing what they, work start, work stop, lines needed, lines don't. I mean, just par for the course. This government here is a reactionary government. Things have to happen. Things have to reach crisis proportions before decisions of worth are made. And that is how to operate, because when you are stressed by not having cash like they used to have, then the priorities come and priorities go. Priorities might be this week, it could be payroll, next week it might be a generator, next month it be something else. When you don't have the cash and you don't have the common sense to use that cash wisely, you become reactionary to things rather than being proactive. And that is a hallmark of this government. It's always this knee-jerk reaction to things that occur.
Can I ask a question? Why we don't have the cash? If we are told that the federal government, quote unquote, is giving us $61 or $62 million every year, the premier is $66 million. The premier is boasting that revenue in the Inland Revenue Department is up and this is up. So how come we don't have money?
Because expenses is also up.
And we spend badly.
But this is where I'm going. They waste money, they spend money badly, and so therefore we are at this crisis point because Mark Brantley administration has mishandled.
Let me tell you something.
Malhandled our resources.
I understand this. This is economics 101. Cash in, expenses out. If you have not grown the economy significantly, if you have not grown the tax base significantly, meaning either foreign direct investment or from local investors, if you have not grown that subset that is responsible for the most of the money that is generated in an economy, if you have not done that, then you don't have the revenue elasticity as you want. As money comes in, it flows right back out. There's nothing staying back. As it comes in, it goes out.
So
and it always goes back as a negative. Because if you look at Nevlec, for example, the government uses $1 million a month in power, pays $500,000. The government is supposed to be contributing X for Social Security payments. They contribute minus X. You see, so they do not have it as they should, because again you have poor management. But the greater issue, you have not grown the economy. You have grown tax collection on the same people, the same 13,000 people that you have been extracting money from for the last 10 years. You have not grown them. So what do you expect to happen then? Those of us who are paying taxes, those of us who are for assets, we will be paying more, and the evidence is there. Last year, the increase, the rate at which we are taxed for land and housing. This year, coming January 25, 2026, you're going to see the re-evaluation of property taxes. Recall the taxes on feed at the supply office, at the hospital, at Nevlec, on water, on garbage. The same population of people paying 7 different taxes in the last 2 years. So that is how we are growing the economy, by taxing people. Go ahead.
Hi, good evening, caller.
Good evening. You could hear me?
Yes.
Listen, I think we need to change up because this thing in we need a new direction. I want you to take a little listen about how Angela from independent struggle have been through to get there. You need to take and focus on any direction.
Caller, if you're with us, you're going to have to get away from the system that you're listening to so that you can hear us, because there's a bit of a delay. And while you're doing that, Anguilla is not independent. They're still a dependent of Britain. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, we're going to lose that caller because they're apparently listening to the whatever system they're using, and there is a bit of a delay. But Daly, I want to pick you up on something there. You're talking about Nevlec and the government owing Nevlec, but you only included the portion of the electricity that the government use. Mm-hmm. Remember, the government is subsidizing a program for the elderly. Mm-hmm. I take care of my aunt's bills. She's old now, she deserves somebody to do the walking and pay her bills. And sometimes it frightens me. When the bill comes out and it reaches my aunt before it reaches me, and she opened it and she, Carla, you tell me that you're paying the bill, but how come I have this big amount on my bill? So I started going around to a couple of other old people. And what I found is that the government is not paying the portion. Because when I clear bills for 3 different old people. And when I clear their bills, suppose the bill is saying 900, and I go in, obviously, a 900 because government's supposed to be subsidizing. So sometimes when I see a $900 bill, the actual bill for the old person might be less than 100. So I started asking questions, what about the other piece, this or so? Because I don't want to come back to have to deal with that arrears next month. They say, no, that is not your portion. That is accumulated because the government is not paying their portion. So suppose you have 1,500 people on that program and the government is owing, let's say, 900. That's over $1 million. Nevlec got to be hemorrhaging to debt.
Nevlec is on its knees as we speak. You cannot owe $60 million to a utility and expect it to be viable. Nevlec should be floating in cash. Last year, Nevlec had to borrow $10 million to buy fuel.
And they can't operate without fuel.
$10 million to buy fuel, and the money had to go straight from the Bank of Nevis to Delta. I could call the name because it's true. Not through the board, not to Nevlec's account, straight to Delta. This is true.
As you will look at last summer.
You went to reach. This is how people must understand how this government has been bankrolling themselves, robbing people to pay Paul. Nevlec is a utility that is one of a kind. There's no competition. Why is Nevlec broke? Why is Nevlec being owed $60 million by the government, and every month it goes up by $500,000 plus the old people money? Why is it that we as Nevisians were promised relief because things are so bad, and the first chance he get, he jump back on his surcharge because he has not delivered the renewable energy that he promised since 2014. He has allowed the wind farm to go down to nothing. He has not bring in solar. He has not brought in any renewable energy. This guy should be thrown out of this country. He should not be able to walk the streets of Charlestown.
without people saying to him, man, you need to get out of here. You need to leave. You're a blight on this country. This guy has brought Nevis to his knees. I saw how General Parry handled the economy during the worldwide recession. 2008, 2010. I saw what he did to stimulate the economy through construction, to housing construction, to Cherry Gardens, and all the 375 homes that were built, all the community centers, the police barracks, police stations. I saw what was done when the rest of the world was contracting. We were contracting too, but it took leadership to sail that ship of state.
Wise leadership.
And when you come across, in contrast to what we see in Brantley's leadership of the economy, having gotten so much, in excess of $500 million between 2015 and 2022, excess of $500 million, on top of over $1 million and almost $1 billion in recurrent revenue from 2015 to 2022. And this is the state of what at which we find ourselves. Broke, on our knees, cannot stand to go to bank, to any bank, not even to the National Bank, which is an asset owned by the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, cannot go to the bank and say, I want to borrow $20 million. Can't do it. Cannot do it without the federal government saying, yeah, then back it up for them. How do you get to a point where you are national government of Nevis and you cannot approach a bank owned by you and the people of Nevis and St. Kitts and say, listen, I want to borrow $20 million because I'm in good standing? Without the federal government is saying, go ahead, give it to them. You cannot go to Social Security and borrow any money because you owe them over $100 million. You have run out your credit at Bank of Nevis, owe them over $100 million. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go next? So you run to Mr. Drahi for $25 million US for your airport. And the people of Nevis deserve to know, what security did Mr. Drahi insist on getting for that $25 million security? We know Dr. Drew signed off for the $19 million for the airport, $19 million US from the Taiwanese. He signed off for the $20 million EC from National Bank. What did Mark Brantley sign off for? For Drahi to allow his $25 million to go into that project. Drahi's a businessman, you know, he didn't get rich by being stupid. Did Mr. Drahi get the keys to Vance Emery International Airport as security? This is a question the Premier needs to tell the people of Nevis. Because in the end, it is us who are holding the bag for that money.
He's not going to tell us.
Because I heard him on a rant last week disrespecting J.W. Parry, asking about the $4 million for the airport, the lands purchased from the Yarwoods for $4 million. Asking the question about, well, the money, the $4 million came from SIDF. What Mr. Parry need to tell the people of Nevis and St. Kitts that the airport was mortgaged to SIDF.
You want to hold that till next week? Because I want to give an in-depth piece on that next week.
Well, me not hold nothing.
Here, go ahead.
Because this guy need to be held account.
I have somebody holding on the line.
Oh, yes, I didn't know that, sorry.
Caller, good evening, how are you?
Caller.
Yes, go ahead.
You know, I didn't mean independent from just being, you not understand this no more. So my point is, I hear the Premier of Nevis and I making some despicable statements.
We are not hearing you as clearly as we should. You know, something is not right.
Turn off your computer or your radio.
We're not hearing you clearly.
It's not the computer. It's just
There's a bit of an echo.
The echo coming from you?
Okay, go ahead now. Keep the device close to your mouth and go ahead.
Yeah, but you kind of mess up my time. But I wasn't talking about independence. We're talking about independence. We're talking about Paris speaking who speak that the other day. Paris, everybody's the goat and sheep and the cow to fight for independence. But I want him to know I come because back on him.
Caller, I'm not hearing you at all. You're garbled. I'm not hearing you clearly at all. And I want to hear every word that you say.
The rumbling coming from you. When you speak, you go here coming from me.
Listen, I hear the other callers. I am not understanding what you're saying. You're not coming through clearly at all.
Okay, listen. We are give up on independence.
Okay. Sound like you're asking about independence meaning secession. That's a topic for another day, caller. Daly, go ahead. Tell me about the airport since you don't want to save it until next week.
No, it's just it is something the Premier is asking us to go into debt in the tune of $140 million plus without any evidence whatsoever that the airport is viable. That is what he's asking us to do. We are already having a difficult time meeting our obligations as it stands. We are now paying $2.75 million every month in interest alone.
It's going to go more than that.
It's going to go more than that, of course.
You have to add the airport lands. It's going to go more than
right
that.
now we are paying 2.75.
It's going to go to about 4 million.
So if you're not generating additional income, what options do you have to meet that mortgage? Taxes. Cutting back on social safety net programs, cutting back on education, healthcare, and everything else.
Stick up in. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen.
How are you?
I'm excellent. They have an old saying that says, "I don't lie." Okay? And I'm not a great accountant or economist, but what I see tells me that y'all are saying that the government can got the money. That must be wrong. Because if you can afford VIP booth at music festival, if you can afford to build VIP at the Monda track, at the cultural village, at the cultural complex, if you can afford to do 5-star trips abroad every month, to St. Bart's, New York, Africa, Europe, wherever. My eyes are telling me that you have money. If you can afford to borrow an extra $150 million to do the airport and increase the debt service by 20+%, that tells me you have money. So the idea that someone ain't got no money, it must be false. Or maybe they don't have the priorities right. I don't know.
Caller, I could give you 2 examples. There is a gentleman who was based in Antigua who landed a helicopter at Lord's in England with about $20 million. People thought he had money.
They're jail.
He just had other people money.
Okay. Wait, that's the difference with government. The government accept you is bonds and so on, treasury bills. They don't have other people's money.
Well, it's the money they have is the people's money.
Okay.
We give it to them, and they go and spend it the way they're spending it.
Okay.
and they should be held accountable.
Yep, I totally agree with you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night. Listen, at 7:50, at 9:50, beg your pardon, I just stop taking calls. Because these gentlemen, if I go too late, by the time they finish with their closing statements, we're going to be after 10. Daily, you on the airport matter. I want you to give your contribution so that you can give it again next week. Because I have some information here in front of me.
Yeah, on Wednesday evening, the Premier indicated that the first tranche, the first set of money has been paid out to the lands that are to the runway and the end of the runway towards Nesbitt's. He said that land, that matter has now been closed. The paperwork will be transferring the land to the NIA. I thought, number one, I thought that land should be transferred to NASPA, but anyway, that's their problem. My biggest concern, and I've voiced it at every opportunity, we have not seen any evidence whatsoever that this government here is creating a viable project. As much as we would like to see a revamped Vance Emery International Airport so we can land and leave as we feel, the people of Nevis must not be burdened anymore by it. Should not. We're already paying too much already in taxes. We're not seeing any consummate rise in our standard of living. Matter of fact, we are degenerating. Groceries are costing more. Utilities are costing more. Everything is costing more. And when it comes down to the Mark Brand is set. Spencer Brand is set.
True.
Troy Libert is set.
Eric
is set. They don't have to worry anymore because they'll be getting their 75% pension.
Troy and Eric set on a minister's salary?
Well,
yeah.
And a minister's salary?
No, they got investments, believe me.
They set.
But the point though is that they will be immune from the trials and tribulations of the regular man on the street.
Mm-hmm. True.
When these bills come due, this mortgage comes due, and we cannot pay. What are they going to do?
Cut back.
There's a cutback and raise taxes. 2 blows in one. 2 blows in one. Cut back on your health care. I'm not a young man anymore. When I get up in the morning, my body hurt me.
Yeah, we need more health care.
You go to bed good and you wake up in the morning, your knee hurt, your back hurt, your head hurt, and you wake up in the morning, you can't believe.
Mm-hmm.
So as you get older, you need better health care.
Mm-hmm. And more.
Your kids need proper education. Mm-hmm. Right? We need vibrant and sustainable agriculture and fisheries. We need a viable tourism product. So there's a lot of need. But how are we going to pay it? And the way it should be paid, when you are focusing on making sure Mr. Drahi get back his money, and the Taiwanese get back their money, and the National Bank get back their money.
Well, not Social Security.
No. Because, you see, what I'm afraid of, we are now almost on par GDP to debt, which is by all renowned institutions saying this is a dangerous place to be. IMF recommends 60+% GDP to debt. World Bank, similar thing. Some say 65 maximum. We are over 100. Dollar for dollar. We have no elasticity left in our economy to absorb any shock at this point. God forbid a hurricane was to come to Nevis.
Lord.
We done. Because we can't even say we got money in the bank to help somebody put on a roof or to put back on the water or the power. We done. This is the state of affairs people must be concerned with. I want people to realize what predicament we are in here. I want us to really recognize that once Brandy proceeds with that white elephant called a hospital up there,
We are even deeper in the hole. So you add 140 million for the airport, another 60 million for the hospital, $200 million. How the hell are you gonna pay it back? How? This is a question that the Premier needs to answer if we are to proceed with these. No, his argument is it's a public good. The airport is a public good. Okay, it's a public good. How are you going to pay for it still? How in God's name are you going to pay for it?
Daily, you're going to have to put up something next week because it's 9:57.
Do you believe that he has intention to pay for it? He have any intention to pay it?
It's a political gimmick at this point.
Okay.
He would not be here to pay for it, to feel the strain of having to find the money to pay for it. He would not be around. He don't calculate that. Put that on NRP.
Put it on somebody else who come in.
Put that on NRP.
So that is bad mind.
Of course it is.
May I ask you a question as we are going wrapping up into my time, right?
Yes, you are. You definitely are.
So I'll say quick daily. Is there anything that Mark Brantley, as the ruler of navies, not a leader, has accomplished anything that of real work that he has accomplished?
Yeah, of course.
Apart from enriching himself and his ministers.
No, he has accomplished quite a bit. Unfortunately, none of it is good.
Something good.
You never said good.
Sorry. Anything good has he accomplished?
How do you judge accomplishment? How do you judge advancement? I mean, every country has debt. There's good debt and there's bad debt. Good debt is your borrowing money to advance a certain development agenda. We have borrowed over 550 million under this government. What have we advanced? What national agenda have we advanced? That's bad debt. That's not good debt. We are now moving into more bad debt with the airport because it cannot pay for itself. It cannot. We have a hospital up there which is on life support. If it ever gets completed, it cannot sustain itself.
Tulu.
My time is up.
Your time done.
Yeah, my time up.
Yeah,
that's
because
why I play daily. I don't have no more time.
You're smart. You're a good preacher. You made sure you wanted daily to get 2 more minutes. So you, boy, you're not easy. Okay, listen. A couple of things I'm going to say to you. Next week we are definitely going to be talking about that the monies that were paid for the 20.84 acres of land, which are the airport lands, which are now useful collateral that the government obviously are using to help with this $137 million that they want to spend over there. But I can leave something with you. Would you believe that the government paid almost as much for the 1.004 acre that they bought from Mr. Jones to put the pier as what NRP and the Joseph Parry paid for 20.84 acres of land over there for the airport?
Of course.
Next week we're going to lay everything on the table because you hear all this noise coming from that puppy show premiere that we have. We're going to put the facts on the table next week. We're going to let you hear his rant and then we're going to put the facts on the table. Because one thing with me, since I started doing Tell Me, it's only 2 books I use. And I know exactly where to look in the books to find what I want to find. We dealt with this before. So we're going to deal with it again. Because the government of Nevis used the Yearwood lands from in the 50s. Didn't pay $1 in rent. And I must know I was the airport manager for 20 years. Didn't pay $1 in rent. And eventually paid the Yarwoods for the lands. I think it was about 2012. So you're talking 50, let's say 55, 45, and 12, 57, nearly 60 years, and eventually paid the Yarwoods. And I want people to hear how much lands have been acquired by this government and how much they paid for those lands. Because when you hear the numbers, some of you are going to hold out your head and bawl. We're going to be back with you next week. And remember, if you're in the New York area, start getting yourselves ready to come to that function, which will be on the 30th of August. Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge and her team will be there. I am going to be there. I got to see if I could find a little nice suit to put on and come to that function, because I'm looking forward to engaging with you the people over there, overseas, who stay tuned to what's happening at home. It's only $75 a ticket. So you find that, make that contribution, and make sure that you're there with us. Until next week, be good.
Tell me what you want.